I want to talk about pen testing, right?
All right.
Everyone's sort of saying you got to have pen tests. Some companies don't care about it. Like, just let's just step back. Like, why should a company give a crap about a pen test?
Because it gives you really a look at reality. We can say that there's 20,000 vulnerabilities on your network, and really, what does that mean? But a pen test really validates that, hey, I can actually get in and see inside your network, and it shows really how far the attacker could get, because it is an attack simulation.
But different types of pen tests.
Mm-hmm.
So there's external and there's internal.
Yep.
Do both matter?
Yes, I think there's real validity to both. One of the things is a lot of people really focus on just the external. And that's really an old school mentality, because external assumes there's no other way into your network, assumes that nobody's going to come VPNing in with stolen creds, that nobody's going to get some backdoor and phish you and get in with creds. External is just brute force kind of attacking web server vulnerabilities, attacking Exchange server vulnerabilities, things like that. It's still valuable to do because it'll expose vulnerabilities in those services, like in those web servers and in those Exchange servers and in like a firewall that you haven't updated in 20 years. It's important for those reasons, but it's missing 90% of the picture. So the external is really only just showing you what the attacker could see if they were only limited to looking at your network from the outside.
Okay, so they're essentially looking for, where's the open door?
Yep, exactly.
Right? And the open door may not be really an open door, but it's a door with a bad lock.
Exactly.
Right? A door with a, and that, or a key left, under the rock, that's really obvious. And the sort of analogy there is, okay, that's a vulnerability. I have a firewall that is on the edge of my network that is supposed to prevent access, right? That may not have been patched. That's what people would call a CVE, right? Or a vulnerability, right? That is available because it's not up to date, right? And so the attacker on the external side is just looking to figure out what is accessible from the edge.
Yep.
Right?
Yeah. So from the outside world, how can I get in? Yeah.
Why have the internal pen test?
So the internal pen test is actually more relevant these days, because most attacks aren't just happening because a brilliant hacker is hacking your website or hacking your Exchange server. Most of the time an attack happens, it's because the attacker has your creds. They've actually, phished you, and they're getting in through your VPN. They're getting in through your remote desktop. They're actually able to get into your network.
Okay, so even hacking in, they're really just logging in.
Right, exactly. That's the new way of hacking, is logging in. Yes.
Easy hacking via logging in. Okay, so but how do they even get to log in?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so let's say I stole your creds, and I did some research and found out that, okay, vpn.whateveryourcompany.com is a valid host, and I can try VPNing to that, or I do some DNS reconnaissance and I find out how I can remote in with RDP or find some service that I can log in as a user through, whether it's, some web service, SharePoint or whatever, and gain access to your network as a user with those creds. Once I'm in as that user, then is when the internal pen test matters. How far could that user get? And if you're following best practices, most of your users aren't administrators. So you're logging in with a normal user. So if I'm logged in with a normal user, how far in your network can I go? What kind of devastation can I create? And the internal pen test, not only for logged in users, is important for other vulnerabilities too. Let's say somebody did come in through an unpatched vulnerability, from the external, got into your network. Now, what can they see? What can they affect once they're in your network? Once they've, actually gained foothold in your network, what are they able to do? And that's really where the internal pen test is important.